Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small-town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Re-elect Helena Hayes, Iowa House Representative. Helena Hayes serves Mahaska, Keokuk, and Jefferson County. Helena is protecting children, families, life, and religious freedom, and demands transparent government. Helena is defending your God-given constitutional and parental rights. For more information on Iowa House Representative Helena Hayes, go to helenaforhouse.com. Paid for by Helena for House. Attention all veterans and guests. The Keokuk County Veterans Affairs Office invites you to join them for a luncheon on Monday, November 11th from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney. The Veterans Affairs Office provides assistance to veterans in need. If you have any questions, contact Michelle Herman, the Veterans Affairs Administrator in Keokuk County, at the courthouse in Sigourney, 641-622-2761.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again. Welcome one and all to the podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, I am talking about the Card Subject to Change podcast. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. So happy you're here with us. Let us know how you found us, whether it was through word of mouth or stumbled across us on the line. Anyways, we want to know how you found us. But regardless of how you found us or regardless of how you got here, we're so glad you're here. I am your host, Never Wrong, Nick Bull, and I would be remiss if I did not introduce my co-partner. We are co-champs of the For Frequency's Sake Network. We are the longest running tag champs, I think, in For Frequency Network history. I think we'll just go with that as well. He is the one, he is the only, he is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing?
Hey, I am a little tired, but I'm doing good. It's been a good weekend. And of course, as we go into the show, we've got to mention of our sponsors here. We are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. So thank you to our great sponsors. Nick, before we get into the heart and soul of things, I gotta give a shout out to your oldest. Congratulations on winning that first round match, that first round game in the playoffs here. I'm sure he was ecstatic.
Yeah, it was a big day in the family yesterday. My oldest is a senior, and we're in the high school football playoffs now. So the next time they lose will be his last high school football game. So it's emotional time, and we're excited right now. We won our first round matchup yesterday, 22-8. They go on the road next week for second round action. So we're just kind of taking it 1 week at a time here and just trying to get another week to play. And we got that done yesterday. So, yeah, you said a little tired, and I echo the sentiments, being at a football game and being outside all day yesterday. And then with that time change, the time change in the fall always messes with this guy right here. I mean, it takes me, I bet it's going to take me about a week to acclimate myself to the time change and getting used to the fact that it's getting darker earlier now. And it takes a toll on me ever since I've gotten older. And when I mean older, I mean, I've got a 4 at the front of my age, not at the end, the 4 and not only a 4 at the beginning, but a 4 at the end. And it messes with my body. So I really dread this kind of time of year where it's fall and we're falling back. Everybody's like, yay, we get the extra hour sleep, which was great. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's going to take me about a week to get used to this.
I understand that. The time change doesn't affect me that much, especially in the fall. It's the one in the spring that hits me when we lose that hour instead of gaining an hour. That one really messes me up. But no,
You're probably tired because you had a big night last night. You went to an indie show here right in our backyard. The folks at SCW Pro held a show called The Harvest over at the Bluegrass Community Center, and the one and the only The Wizard CZ was in attendance. Why don't you tell us about it, Wiz?
So it was a really good show. I'm glad I was able to go. It's the first SCW show I've been to in at least 2 months. Not for lack of trying, just life happens. People get busy. Always love going out, seeing our friends of the podcast, former guests, Cornboy, of course, our collaborator JT Energy. Always love seeing him. The only one I didn't enjoy seeing was Mark Storm, because he gave me a big finger as I was waiting in line. So, Mark, I'm going to give that right back to you, buddy.
Man, what'd you do to piss off Mark Storm?
I probably talked bad about his boy John Bonhart. I don't know, maybe not. No, but in all seriousness, Mark, yeah, it was great seeing you, great seeing everybody, friendly faces all around, and I think other than the matches, there were some decent matches, but other than the matches, it was enjoyable seeing a gorilla in the ring. Not a live gorilla. It was someone wearing a gorilla suit, but came out.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I have it on good authority, because he was not in attendance, but I have it on good authority that Stevie Mo was in the gorilla suit because he was trying to take out his comedic competition in Joe Carey. I'm just saying. I have it on good authority. That is what I've heard.
Yeah, Stevie Mo and the gorilla have not been seen in the same place together. So it leads one to believe that the gorilla could be Stevie Mo. We're thinking here at Card Subject to Change, the gorilla was Stevie Mo, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Also last night, I wanted to bring this to your attention and the show's attention. A friend of the show, he's a former guest of the show, but he's definitely a friend of the show. He's not only a friend of our show, but he's also a friend of independent wrestling. He's got a wonderful gift, and he loves to share it with the wrestling world, and that's Clint Dye from Tag Team Photography. Was at a show last night. From the looks of it, I think it was an absolute pro wrestling show up in Waterloo. Our friends up in APW had a show in Waterloo last night, and our friend Clint Dye from Tag Team Photography was there and was in the corner shooting through the ropes and up, trying to get someone pulling off what is the lead up to a sliced bread number 2. When this person this wrestler in the ring raised their foot, it connected with Clint's camera, and Clint, being the photographer that he is, has his eye up to the camera, and boom, right there. Clint gets busted open hard way, as they say, Wiz. No blade job there from Clint. He got busted open hard way, and continued to shoot the rest of the show. The show goes on, but a prop here to a shout out, a tip of the hat to Clint Dye for taking some bumps last night, being the ringside photographer up at Absolute Pro Wrestling last night. He got busted open hard way, and the show goes on, man. We're proud of Clint. We love his stuff, and we love seeing his pics.
Absolutely.
I liken it to going to the newsstand back in the day and seeing the different wrestling magazines. When he posts his pictures from the event, I get the whole story. I can kind of figure out what happened, and does a great job. So props, kudos to you, Clint Dye, for taking the bump, and hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully the headache went away, and you got a good story to go with the picture. So
absolutely. And Clint, of course, the premier photographer here in the state of Iowa, where I am, for independent wrestling and others. He goes to more than Iowa, but been a part of SCW. He's been a part of Absolute Pro, Madhouse Wrestling. He's just all over the map, taking fantastic photographs. Clint, we appreciate your going into the trenches and taking one for the team while you got that camera up to your eye, my friend.
So should we get back on business here for why we're here? The Wiz, this is episode 155. the champions of Crown Jewel. Should we start talking Crown Jewel? Where do you want to begin? What is your lead into this? You have any opening thoughts about this before we start breaking down the show?
Well, we talked a little bit about this off air. This was supposed to have another match, but that match didn't happen. It was supposed to be Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel Rodriguez. Rhea Ripley obviously written out of the storyline on NXT by getting a parking lot beating from Liv and Raquel, but in reality, she did suffer an orbital bone injury, so she is out. I have not heard how long she is out, but speedy recovery to Rhea Ripley. You and I talked before the show, before the event, I should say, as to what's going to lead this off and what's going to be the main event. I know what we both felt should have been the main event, and I'm glad that it was. They booked it the right way, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if I would have had the Bloodline leading the show necessarily, but that's where I think we should just start right at the beginning. Have that, talk about the Bloodline. Obviously, you've got tensions high between Solo and his new Bloodline and the original tribal chief and the old school, the original, the OG Bloodline, if you will.
We're not, are we to the point where it's like NWO Wolfpack and NWO Hollywood on the Bloodlines here? Do we need to come up with, is it new Bloodline and the original Bloodline, or is that how we're going to, or do you think this progresses from here?
I think it progresses from here.
Okay.
I can see the comparisons. I see exactly what you're saying, because it does feel like very similar to, are you NWO Hollywood or are you NWO Wolfpack?
Right. It does.
It says another win for the good guys.
I tend to believe they're going to learn from the past and not go down that road.
Right.
Right. We don't want that happening again.
I hope so.
But go ahead. I don't want to take away. I was just trumping in with the joke there.
Well, no, actually, I want to hear what you had to thought. You texted me. You were busy with your oldest game yesterday, so you watched this on delay earlier today, and you texted me before we went on. As you were watching it, you had something you really wanted to talk about, it was right at the start.
Did you find it odd that Roman came out before Jay?
Yes, very much so.
I did, until Jay's entrance happened, and then I knew exactly why Jay came out second. The crowd was singing Jay's music, totally into the interactive entrance that Jey Uso has become to start up and do, and he's kind of like the organic, wrestler. He comes out through the crowd now. Crowd loves it. I mean, he's not the first wrestler to ever come out through the crowd, but first wrestler in a while in the WWE to come out through the crowd type of deal. So
if I can pause that,
when it's happening, I'm like, dude, Roman Reigns is the biggest name in this match. He needs to come out last. And then I'm like, and then I paused and I'm like, yeah, but I understand why they had Jay come out second.
Oh, I agree. It's an interesting dynamic. And I want to pause and back up a little bit. We've got our good friend Clint Dye joining us. Clint, rewind a little bit when you get a chance. We popped up some pics. We gave you some props. Thank you very much. And Heather asking Clint how the eye is, and of course he's saying it's all good. So good job. That's good to hear, Clint. We're happy that happy you're doing well, and the eye's not going to bother you too much.
Yeet. Okay, so we're back to talking about this match. Roman comes out first with Jimmy in tow. Then Jay comes out. I was excited to see this match, and then I wasn't. And here's why.